Hello, Patton. Mrs. Schultz here. Today, I'm going to create a video showing you how to create your own color wheel and test out watercolor colors to see what they would look like when you mix them in certain combinations. So we're going to talk about color theory. There you go. All right, so this is what it should look like in the end for your color wheel. The color wheel, we're just going to be using your primary colors. So your red, your yellow, and your blue. Okay, and then after I show that, I'm going to show you how to do color mapping by using your whole pan of watercolors. All right, so let's start by looking how to set up your color wheel. I'm going to have things in school for each of the tables, tape for the outer corner, outside circle. And then I used a Batman disc from one of my son's games. And then I don't even know what this is, something else I found for the medium circle. And then I used a chapstick for the little circle. So the three main ones are primary. The smaller ones are the in-between, so that would be your secondaries. And then the little chapsticks are your tertiary colors. All right, so I'm going to show you how to mix your colors directly on your paper. So I'm using watercolor paper. I'm using a round brush just because I prefer it for things that are round, opposed to what a flat brush would look like or a fan. All right, so you're going to start with your lightest color. So I'm going to start with yellow. I'm only allowed to use red, yellow, and blue, right? So I'm going to get my watercolor cake. This is the same cake you have at school. And I'm going to color my top large circle with the yellow. Okay, and I'm just going to fill that in the best I can. If you see a cat coming into the video, Charlotte's decided to join us. All right, I'm going to wash my brush off. I do have a cup of water here. And I'm going to do red next. Red would be also the very large circle because they're your primaries, are the biggest. All right. I'm not using a ton of water for these. All right, so there's my red. And rinse out my brush and go to the darkest color for primaries, which would be blue. Fill that in. So before I even started, I made sure that my palette was clean, the foam plates that I have at school. All right. Oops, dipped in purple. Just blue. All right, happy with the color. All right, now we're going to talk about mixing. So red and yellow make orange, so that'll be our first secondary color. So I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to put that down first because we always start with the lighter color, right? And I'm going to get my red and I'm going to drop it in on top and mix right on the paper. And that is going to give us our orange right on the paper. I'm not digging in either. It's just kind of like a real light swirl thing going on because I don't want to mess the paper up and have it come up. I'm going to do the other side. So yellow and blue make green. Start with my lightest color, which is yellow. All right, my brush off, get some blue, drop that in since it's my darker color. Look at that. That beautiful green coming up. All right, so again, orange and green are secondary colors. Wash my brush off. Now I'm going to mix red and blue. So red is our lighter. Start with that. Red. Wash my brush off. Put some blue. Drop it in there. Mix. And we're getting our purple or violet. That's a pretty color right there. All right, so we have our primaries And we have our secondaries. And again, I'm just using my primary colors. Now we're going to do the tertiary colors. So those are the little chapstick guys, right? You guessed it. I'm starting with my lightest color. Start with yellow. And then I'm just going to steal from this one and put that right on top. So you kind of want to work quick with this. All right, I'm going to work with these two. So this is the lighter, so I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to get my blue, put that on top and mix. Excuse me. There we go. That's gorgeous. All right. This one, I'm just going to start with the blue. Wash my brush off, get some of this purple into there. Put it in. It's not working as well, so I'm going to add a little bit of the red in there. There we go. So that gives us our blue purple. This one was our yellow or our green blue. And this one was our yellow green. All right, do red. Again, add in that purple on top. This is our red violet. And lastly, drop that orange in there first. Go back and get my red. And drop that in. Beautiful. So it gives us our red, orange. All right, lastly, add my yellow first. I'm going to add my orange on top. And again, you should be doing everything directly on the paper. All right, so our tertiaries are finished. So that finishes your color wheel. So we have our primary colors, which I have the solid line going to. We have our secondary colors, the orange to green and the purple by the dotted line. And then I do squigglies for our tertiary colors. And so we have purple blue, green blue, yellow green, yellow orange, orange red, and red violet. All right, I'm going to set this aside. Now that we've created that, we can now use our whole pan. So we're actually going to use all 8 of our colors. So if you look at my chart here, oh, Charlotte, you stay where you are. Charlotte really wants to apply with the paint. I have my red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, black, brown set up. And that's the way I have them set up on my palette. Now the same on the other side. So what we're going to do is, what's red look like? So that is just straight up red. So we're going to do all our straight ups. So there's red. We're just doing little dots. I'm going to do orange. It's the first time I'm playing with it, so I'm going to maybe need a little more orange, more pigment. Okay. Yellow. Green. Blue. Oops. Violet. Black. And then our brown. Okay. So those are straight out of the pan, just the way we are. So what does red, yellow look like? So we're going to start just like we did before. We're going to start with our lighter color. So that's the yellow. Wash our brush off, get some red, put that on top. That gives us an orange. What is Oh, I messed up. There you go. See, teachers mess up too. I was thinking that was red, yellow. But what's it say, folks? Red, orange. So that's okay. Go blot it off. Just use a little piece of paper towel. Okay, start over. Use our orange first because that's our lighter of the two. And then our red on top. There we go. Red, orange. All right, let's pay attention better here, Schulte. Let's start with the yellow. And the red is a block off. Okay. Green and red, they're opposites on the color wheel, right? They're complementary. Wonder what they do when you mix them together. Well, I know, but do you know? I say it creates mud. Actually, it's a pretty dark green. All right, red and blue. You should know that answer, right? So red first. So you should do this with any palette that you get. That way you can see what your colors are going to do together. Different companies, their brands might have different pigments. All right, so next one is red and violet. So red first. And violet on top. And again, you can use the whole pan, right? Next one is red and black. So that's kind of like a shade of red. Go. And then brown and red. Also kind of like a shade. More earthy. All right. We just go right to the next row. All right, so our next one is yellow and orange. No, what is that? Orange and yellow. Woo. Yellow first. And orange. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. You know what? I think since they all have orange in them, I'm just going to do wet orange dots down the row here. So it's going to be the lightest. Right? And then I'm going to add in the next color, which would be green. Next color, add in blue. Next color, add in violet. Next color, add in black. Get your shade. And then brown. So what did orange's complement look like? So blue is its complement. Kind of muddy, right? All right, next row. Ooh. I got some green in my yellow. Let's wipe that off. Okay. The yellow blobs, that seemed to work out. Always learning over here. More yellow. And just doing little dots. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay, and we'll add in our colors. So this row wants me to add green. Ooh, that's pretty. All right. Blue, what do you think I'm getting? I'm getting green. Pretty. Yellow and violet, they're opposites on the color wheel, right? Complements. Yeah. Black will give us a shade. And brown will give us kind of an earthy shade. All right. Next row is green. Let's do the greens down the bottom there. Green, green. All right, so green and blue. Pretty. Green and violet. Green and black gives you your shade. Green and brown gives you an earthy. There we go. All right, now because I got a little extra water in there, I got to make sure my blob doesn't touch it or it'll bleed together because it's very wet. I'm going to make my blue blob a little farther down the box on that one. All right, so blue and violet. Beautiful. And black. And blue and brown. So the reason we're just doing this side is because it would all repeat itself up here anyway. So what you might want to do is create more of a transparency value and up here, so you can see the difference of what it would look like more opaque opposed to more transparent, where you would use more water. All right, so let's add black in our purple and brown in our purple. All right, getting down to the end here, folks. Black with brown. All right, so let me show you what I mean about the tints. I'll do a violet. So I put the violet out here, and I would really water it down. So let's do a violet and orange. Let's just do all these. That way you can see the difference. See how light that is compared to what we had before? All right, so red, that out here, you guessed it. More water means more transparent, right? So violet and red together. So there's our value there, right? What does violet and red look like here? So there are the differences. Violet, orange, got here. Water it down. On top. That way you can really see what's going on with your paints. What happens if you add more water or have more pigment on it. Okay, green. And a blue. All right, so this is what we're going to do in class, and this is going to allow you to see and answer all your questions about what's it going to look like if I mix these two colors, what's it going to look like if I use a lot of water compared to if I use just a little bit of water. All right, let me switch my camera back. Nope, and there I am. All right, so that was color theory. We created the color wheel, just still drying. I don't want to turn it on its side. Let me use my example that I did before. So we created the color wheel. We mixed directly on a paper. We only use primary colors. And then we created a color mapping chart of what colors we had available. And to create this, I did use our pan of paints. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help.